Musical board, we made a stop at Taylor Guitars, and I have Charlie with me, who is head of the supply chain with Taylor. And of course, since we're building acoustic guitars, there's plenty of wood to be moved around. And as we all found out after CITES in Jayberg, we all got, let's say, problems to solve. I'm not jealous of your job in the last, let's say, 3 months, but perhaps you want to let us know a little bit what challenges you've been facing and how you solved them for Taylor.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me. Certainly has been a busy 3 months. Luckily, we've got a great team here at Taylor, a great legal team that digs into the details of all of these things, and it gives us a good roadmap of how to go forward with it. We're very familiar with CITES. We buy genuine mahogany, which is also CITES II regulated, although it doesn't carry the finished goods condition that Dalbergia carries. And we've sold Brazilian rosewood in the past, so we're very familiar with CITES and the organization and and how it works. We've got great contacts at the Fish and Wildlife, and when the new Dalbergia ruling came out, a lot of the heavy lifting was already done. At this point, it was really trying to find the best way to help our dealers and the customers that own Taylor guitars, or any guitar for that matter that has Dalbergia on it. So we've done a lot of research, and we've got a good roadmap and a good communication plan for anyone who's interested. It'll soon be on our dealer portal and on the website, and of course you can always call customer service and they should be fully up to speed.
Which kind of covers the past. Is there developments for the future to go away from rosewood, find substitutes? Did you work yourself into materials that be alike and help save the resources, woods, in the future? Are you going that path as well?
Well, it depends. Rosewood is kind of the backbone of the guitar industry. It's always been, that the tone wood that just works the best, and we'll never stop using it. As we design new guitars, we are aware of the restrictions that rosewood presents, and we're very careful about not putting rosewood appointments on a guitar where it may have a different species for the backs and sides. So, for example, we wouldn't have a rosewood truss rod cover, and that's the only rosewood on the guitar, right? So we're very conscious of that, but we have no intention to stop using rosewood anytime in the future. And in fact, we're working with all of our Indian rosewood suppliers and the Indian government and all of the NGOs that make up the community that makes these decisions to find a way to allow dealers and consumers and customers of the guitar to be able to do this a little bit easier, a little bit more friendly. So we have no intention of taking rosewood away, but we are conscious of the regulation, and we will make adjustments when we have to.
A little earlier you said on the mahogany side that, and that's one of the stuff that frequently confuses the end user, that sometimes the musical instrument containing the material is part of CITES, and sometimes the finished product is not part of the CITES, and you're allowed to travel with it without any limitations, although when acquiring the wood, there had been limitations or had been stuff to be considered. Traveling for the musician, is there any help you provide? And I know you put a chip in your guitars that you can trace it during production. Would the next step be to provide like a guitar passport that basically solves most of the problems? Because I know back home in Germany, all the administration part, they kind of lost with all the end users that are now trying to register guitars to make them ready to sell them. Because buying a guitar is one part, and then everything works, all the administration works through the dealership. But when the customer has the guitar and he wants to trade it in or resell it, then he might run into a problem. So is there anything from your side you're thinking of helping that, guys, and which direction to go for that?
That is a very complicated problem. Right now, with the exception of Brazilian rosewood or any other Appendix 1 species, the management authorities have made it clear that traveling musicians with their guitar for personal reasons or for gigs or something, there is an exemption where they do not need to have a CITES document when they're crossing borders for those purposes. Although it's always good to have a copy of the annotation with them just in case you have a customs agent that's not fully aware. As far as creating like a passport, it would be up to the CITES body to adapt that kind of solution. Exactly, and we are a proponent of that, and we'll continue to work with the CITES authorities and all of the management authorities that we can to create some kind of an easier way to buy and sell a guitar over state lines. A Taylor guitar, like you mentioned, has an RFID chip, and all of our guitars have a unique serial number, and we can easily trace back that guitar when it was manufactured. And if it was manufactured after the effective date of January 2nd, 2017, we can provide any customer with the documents necessary for them to apply for a re-export or an import permit when they go to sell their guitar. So we're working really hard to find a way to make that a little bit easier, but it's really up to the CITES body to make that decision. But we're willing to help in any way possible, whether it's technology or it's just best practices to help make that as smooth as possible.
So within acquiring wood, you handle a lot of wood. What is your personal favorite?
Well, there's something to be said about mahogany. It's been around for a long time. It's tried and true. It's beautiful. Personally, I think I have a 522 CE at home. It's all mahogany, and it's just one of my most favorite guitars. So that's my personal preference. But to each his own, I think. And I think the variety is very good for anyone who's looking for a guitar musician for a particular sound or particular aesthetic part of the guitar as well.
Thank you for the information. Appreciated that. And it's good to see a guitar company being ready for what happens out there. Because I've also seen plenty of surprises and faces within the last 6 or 8 weeks. So congratulations to that part. We're going to visit the factory on Monday, and we're going to see how everything that you bought is made into guitars then. Thank you.